As Christians, sooner or later, we all have to face this question. How can an all-powerful and all-good God allow evil? All of us, the problem with evil is real, especially those who have experienced or are going through pain. And even if we can't give or get an answer to this on an individual level, we can still find some general principles about evil to at least give us the hope and give us the premise upon which we can understand what is evil and where it comes from. So the first thing we are going to look at is, what is evil exactly? You see, to some, evil looks like this, that evil is a thing or some substance that grabs hold of a certain good thing and make that good thing bad, like a virus affecting a good animal, or some would see it evil as a rival force in the universe, like the dark side of the Luke Skywalker force, if you like, and make the good universe bad. And if we follow through with that thinking, and we saw that God made all things, then that makes God responsible for making evil. In Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 to 17, and in John chapter 1, verse 1 to 3, Scripture clearly states that God created everything. And if we accept that evil is a reality or a substance, how can we say then God didn't create this thing? Well, the short answer is God did not create this thing. And He did not create it because evil is not a thing. Evil is not a substance. And evil is not a force or an entity to be created. Evil, rather, is the corruption of a good thing, and that God did in fact make the good thing. So let's explain further. God made humans, and it was good. This is repeated multiple times in Genesis 1. He gave humans the power of free will. In short, the ability to choose, and that was good as well. This means He gave humans the choice to believe that God was the only arbiter of right and wrong, and that God knew what was best for humans when God said, "Do not eat a certain fruit." And that choice and that information that God gave was good. But the problem started when humans believed that God, the absolute arbiter, did not know what is best for them, humans. This in itself was a corruption of a particularly good thing. This is when evil was born. When humans decided to take on self-determination, when the first humans disobeyed God and thought that they themselves has the ability to choose what is absolutely right and wrong, and disobeyed God's command, that was when the corruption of a good thing happened. You see, evil or a corruption of a good thing then is not a substance or an entity, but the corruption of that which is good. This means that evil is a parasitic thing. It is a parasite upon good. In other words, evil depends on the existence of good in a way good does not depend upon evil. Thus, while there can be good without evil, there cannot be evil without the existence of goodness. Let's look at an example. The rust on the door of your wonderful car. The rust on the door can only happen when you have a good door. Without a great door that has not rusted, the rust would not exist. The rust can only exist, in other words, on a good door. The rust is a privation or absence of goodness. Let's look at another example. A moth hole in your jumper. You have a perfect jumper, a woolen jumper, and the moth eats a hole in your woolen jumper. That hole cannot exist without the good jumper. The moth hole is a privation of the good jumper. In fact, it cannot exist without the good jumper. The rust on the car and the moth hole on your jumper can only exist when there's a perfect car door to be rusted and when there's a perfect jumper for the moth to eat. In short, the existence of evil requires that good in the first place be previously in existence. So if we look back into our example of our first human, that evil became a reality when there was a rejection of what God said was true and worthy of obedience. And evil became a reality when an act in opposition to God's command was made and a decision in opposition to God's commandment was made. When the first humans made a decision and made a free will choice to cease to trust God and follow the human way, evil became a reality. And that's what evil is, and that's where evil came from.